Hey, one sec. Hey, Ollie, good to see you all. Good to see you all. Okay, fantastic. Great, great. Okay. We want to continue on with some of the stuff that we did last week, I think, today. And also introduce a few other concepts. This being week number 4. This is week 4, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. My plan originally was to cover arrays in week 4, um, arrays and vectors. And I'm thinking today that we're going to see if it falls naturally out of what we're going to try and do. If not, I'll try and contrive a way to bring it in on Thursday, okay? Because arrays are conceptually simple, but in order to use them effectively, you need to master, some of these other things like looping over them and if conditions. I think that is more important in terms of, needing power over the arrays. Okay, so I think one lecture on Thursday is sufficient for arrays because next week, that's week 5, I'd like to talk about functions. Okay, and the thing is, by the time we're talking about functions next week, you'd already be familiar with functions because we already wrote a function last class, if you remember, right? So this is idea that one of my past students had, Erica, that thing about sleep and, hang on, countdown or something like that. Yeah, we did that last class. Um, um, yeah, so yeah, we could do that. We could introduce arrays as we see fit today. Okay, so but I do have an idea for something new that we can do today, and it's not going to be hugely different from what you're able to do, but I think it is going to be fun. Okay, and even if we just manage to do a small bit of the fun part, I think it'll be fun enough for you to just to consume your mind enough to do something with it, okay, for the next couple of days. By the way, I actually didn't see any questing activity today from any of you. Now, I just want to make sure that my logging or my notification setup hasn't died or something. Did any of you quest at all today? Since AM, since midnight? No? Right. So that means, why the hell didn't you? Right. So you should be questing every day. All right. So this is the first time it's ever happened, in the 4 or 5 years, because I get these notifications, and for a long time, I get a notification every day, and it's pretty intense. Um, because in terms of the distribution too, right? Which time of day and everything, it's very nice, the way that you guys work. But today was the first time I've ever noticed it in about 3 years that there was absolutely no, not just you guys, okay? It was also 2B and 2C. So then I thought, oh, wow, maybe there's this, usually there's this big game thing that happens in the US every year around this time, the Super Bowl thing. So I think maybe that's today. And then I found that that's not today either. So I went around and searched, "Hey, are there any major sports events today?" But I got to go do that in anonymous mode because if I do it in my regular mode, then the AI will start recommending sports news to me from tomorrow, right? So I got to be careful about that. Not me, it's the interesting thing is that once you know the power of AI, um, you would be able to drive that to your benefit, meaning that you would be able to leverage the power of AI to do your stuff for you. And the fear about AI taking over and shit like that. Yeah, that is all the media. You guys are computer scientists and these things, yeah. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, long conversation. It doesn't belong in CS2A. Um, all right, so here is my plan. As soon as everybody is okay with proceeding with the new project, and hopefully we'll have a bunch of people coding today, okay? Last class, if I remember correctly, on Thursday, Alan was the last person to code. Yes or no? Alan, are you here? Oh, was it Wendy? Was it you?
Yeah.
Technically, it was Wendy.
Oh, yeah. Alan, you tagged someone, yes?
No, but Wendy did code last because you asked if anybody had questions and she started coding. So she
I
could pick if she wants.
All right, okay. That's great. You know, everybody else should also feel free to switch on your cameras because, you know, I do have a screen here and only some of you have got your cameras on. It's actually very nice and colorful, you know, different backgrounds and very nice. It actually looks much better, I think, on a recording, too. So you should seriously consider switching on your cameras. Anyway, hey, Wendy, you're going to nominate someone who hasn't coded either this week or last week. Okay, so and I think we maybe will from next week onwards we'll say, you know, the last couple of weeks, but we'll see. We'll do it, you know, today or last week. Okay, so nominate someone and they're going to code. And here's my plan. As you are thinking of someone, and remember, you have to, you know, the rules, right? That person should not have coded, and also there were a few other things that we talked about. You know, that person wants to code or something like that, right? So if they turn it down, you don't get the point. Anyway, so while Wendy's making up her mind, I was thinking, especially if Isidore is here, he's our tutor. I gotta check with him. He's supposed, you know, I asked him to come to these meetings. But anyway, we can do a quick Google and find out. There is a way to send a bunch of special characters to cout, essentially the terminal. And that is, those are control codes from long ago in history, right? But that still work if you go into the terminal mode of some of these computers, okay, like online GDB. So we're going to write a computer program which will actually work in producing text or animation or basically placing the cursor at any desired point on a rectangular screen. Okay, maybe we'll say, you know, 10 by 10 or, you know, 100 characters by 10 lines or something like that, right? And that's basically it. And I you know, that's not the goal of the thing though, right? So I think after we find success, and it's only 5 or 10 lines, you know, I mean, I'm describing it so long, it's taking a long time to describe it, but it's only 5 or 10 lines. So the first person to pick up the screen will probably be done with it. And so that goes to a certain place on the screen and print something. Now, once you have control of that, you can leverage that to create more interesting things. Okay, and I am thinking, this is what I was thinking of this morning. So if any of you have a better idea, you should just let me know, and then we'll just say that's what we'll do, right? Better meaning, you know, it's got to be interesting to me too. Okay, so what I was thinking was we'll start with first, once you have the ability to go to any place on the screen and place any character you want, let's say star, okay, star, there, okay? Once you have that ability, we can then write a function which will repeatedly call that with different locations, that thereby putting a lot of stars next to each other like a straight line. Yes or no on screen? Now, give me a thumbs up. You know, we're not talking about C++ code yet. We're just talking about hand wavy procedures at this point. Yes? Okay. So, but the idea, what we're shooting for in general, this is a rough direction, should make sense to all of you. So, yeah, Wendy's the only one, you know, Rena, Wendy, okay, Rui, Josh, okay, especially the ones who have, you know, their camera switched off, Wesley, Ananya, and Chris. All right, a thumbs up at least. I know that you guys are here. Okay, Wesley, yeah, okay. All right, so you should just give me a thumbs up at least. All right. So also thumbs up means that, you know, you're on the same page so far. Okay, so all right, so you can do that straight line. That means that instead of a straight line, you can also plot a function. Okay, now here I think this is the cool part, because I'm pretty sure that a whole bunch of you are enrolled in math courses at the same time. Yeah, is some kind of prerequisite or core requisite in one of the CS courses? Yes or no? Yeah, okay. So we'll just do some basic math here. So instead of doing a straight line, why don't we graph an interesting looking function? Yeah. And I'm just thinking we'll just pick, and it's going to give us an opportunity to call a simple function in a math library, okay? Which, you know, is basically, there is a library of math functions that's available in C++. We haven't used it so far, although you wrote a function yourself in quest number 2, was it 2? 3 maybe, right? To e to the x, yeah? Or maybe in quest number 4, you do proper e to the x, you know, any number of places, you know, in quest number something like that. Yeah. So, but there, you can calculate the value just by calling a math library function. Yeah, and it will do the calculation and return the value to you. So we will use one of those functions. Yeah, I think just one, maybe a couple, right? And I'm thinking in my mind, let's just use the sine function, right? And I think because the reason I say the sine function is because it's got an interesting shape. It goes like that, yeah? So it goes like that, one cycle, and then we'll just work out in our minds what the end should be, right? So that is 2 pi radians, right? So 360 degrees. And we'll say if we have about 200 characters on your screen, yeah, we'll try and fit it in so that for every column, we can find out the degree, right? Calculate the sine value, and that represents the height where the pixel should be placed, right? So that is all we're going to do. And again, I can tell you that all of that is going to be less than 50 lines of code, right? And so when we run that, we should actually see that function, that entire cycle printed on screen. And it'll work in online GDB, it'll work in cpp.sh, yeah? Any IDE you go to that supports a terminal, yeah? If you have a terminal, on a Mac terminal, for example, you run it and you'll get it. Now, if that works, I do have a stretch goal, okay? If you guys are bored with doing that, after that, we can do that in the form of an animation by inserting sleeps into that, okay? So like an oscilloscope, so we can do the first tar, okay, and then sleep for half a second, right? And then erase the first tar and put the next one. So it looks like it moves from here to here. Yeah, and then so for every successive position, you're going to erase the previous one. So it look like that is going from here like that and basically traveling along the sine wave on the screen. Okay, and when it comes back, you can cycle back here because you can do a modulus operator. I'll show you how to do a modulus operator, but you can come back and it'll be a nice. So I think if we do that, my plan is that it will be exciting because there will be some action on the screen. Yeah, okay. It's not like a game, but there'll be some action on the screen, and it will give us an opportunity to use math functions in the math library, which, by the way, it is never used in the quests. Okay, so I say that let's use math functions here, but in the quests, I always say don't use math functions because if you use math functions, especially in things that require numeric output, like if you have fractional calculations and so on and so forth, then my tests become so much messier because I have to test for intervals now. I can't test for a specific value. And I don't know if that even makes sense. So I say don't use the math library, because their numbers are all different from mine. Not that they're less accurate or more accurate, but they're different. We got to be, because it's all floating point, right? We're not dealing with real numbers here. We're just dealing with approximation to real numbers that you can get in 32 bits, or whatever the double precision is. Yeah. Okay. So that is my plan. Now, when Wendy nominates a person, they would basically just take the screen, yeah, and share their screen, go to online GDB, clear out everything, and then we'll start from there. We'll put comments at the top saying, well, today's class code, so-and-so. What time is it, by the way? Oh, it's only 6:15. Okay. I mean, maybe I'm getting better because, I'm starting to get into the code in 15 minutes time, right? Maybe, next time I'll aim for getting into the code in 10 minutes time. Okay. So there'll be some progress. Meaning that we'll have more time to code because I think that is the activity that all of you seem to enjoy. And from what I see in your reflections and your posts, it seems that all of you like the coding, or at least watching other people code, your friends code, or getting the opportunity to chime in and say, hey, you know what, go to the next line. All of those are fun things. But when I read your reflections, that's what comes across to me. So I'll try and minimize the talking on my side, and then let the coding have unfold, not because it is unfolding naturally. It just needs to be me to be out of the way, okay? But I'm just going to be here. I'm going to be here to help you if you want. So it'll be fun. Okay, so hey, Wendy, whenever you're ready, you got to name someone, and that person should not have coded in the recent past, okay? Meaning that last week and this week.
I'll say Josh.
I think Josh coded. No, maybe Josh didn't code, but Josh, hey, Josh, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Did you code last week?
No, I did not.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's fantastic. Okay. All right. So Wendy, you got your point. Okay. Well, not real point. Okay. Not real point. You got this fairy point in there. Okay. Hey, Josh, when you're ready, just pick up the screen, share the screen, And you should also switch on your camera, okay, Josh? And well, not that it matters anymore because now it's just going to be that big screen. Right. No, no, not VS Code. Let's just do it in online GDP because I think
I don't.
we can actually go to VS Code, but I'm thinking that not everybody is in VS Code.
I don't
Yeah,
like using online GDB because it doesn't save anything. Like one time I coded
I
and then it
see.
froze. I pressed refresh and I lost everything.
I see. Okay, all right. No worries. Is everybody okay? This is very, very similar to online GDB, except that when he shares it, he's got to put it somewhere. I don't know. Well, you don't have to share it, right? Everybody's got to recreate it from scratch.
I prefer VS Code to all NGDB as well.
Hmm? It's okay. We'll do whatever works. Okay. Yeah. Is it okay, Josh?
Yeah, it's okay.
Great. Okay. So let's clear out and create a new project, and I think let's call it. Why don't we be ambitious? Let's call it oscilloscope, okay? And we're going to build it up step by step, including so the goal is if everything works, we'll put the sleep in the end and get the animation. Yeah. If it works, if I'm lucky, I'll get to see the oscilloscope. Okay. All right. All right. Now and do the standard stuff like a hash include IO stream. And by the way, same rules to you, same availability. Or no, what is it? Same features to you also available, right, Josh? Meaning that anytime you want to take a break from this, you can basically say, I want to hand over, okay, and tag someone, and they'll say, yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
All right. That means everybody has got to be on their toes too, right? They should be ready to take over and code everything that Josh is coding now. All right. Okay. Now let's go. So what is it we want to do? All right, let's go to Google or some place and search for ANSI code to position the cursor on screen. Okay. I'm pretty sure I know this, right? Because especially because students have done this in the past. ANSI code. No, I think it's ANSI one I. Like a jack. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah, I think so. Let's try that. I think it's escape. No, further down, you'll actually see a picture. No, I think there should be a table further down.
Wait.
I know. I'm
Another.
pretty sure they have it in there. Oh yeah, ANSI escape codes. Yeah, click that on the GitHub one. No, further down. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah, more. Even more. Cursor controls. Yeah. Okay. What is it? Moves cursor. To a specific position. Okay, we want to go to a specific position, which means we need two parameters in there somewhere. Let's move cursor. Oh, line number, column number. Yeah. Okay, that's the one I think in the second line. Okay, so it's escape square bracket. Is that a square bracket? Okay. Is that a square bracket?
Yeah.
Okay, escape square bracket, and then it's the line, the row number, and then the column number. Oh, line, semicolon, and then the column number, and then the capital H. I don't know what the F does, but we'll just do capital H. Yeah. All right, someone's got to remember this, or keep that open. Keep that part open, and then let's go back to our code. Okay. All right. Now let's go up to line 4 and hit enter. Oh, by the way, we didn't fill in the top part of the code where it says today's class code and so on. So go to line 1. Well, put the gist of today's class in there. By the way, we just launched into the code. And Josh started typing and all. But I want to make sure first that if anybody had any questions whatsoever, before we dive into this, and everybody into coding and all, if anybody had any questions, doubts about previous things that we had talked about and you are unsure of, okay, we have time to discuss all of those. Okay, so and I forgot to get into that before we started coding. Okay? So detach yourself. I'm sorry. Okay? Detach yourself from this for the moment and just make sure that everybody's on the same page and everybody's happy with where we are. Okay, because I don't want anybody to be left behind. That is the feeling. Yeah. So let's just make sure that everybody is on board before we marching ahead. So thumbs up, okay? Thumbs up, and I'm going to increase the screen to see, make sure that I get enough thumbs ups before moving on. Because sometimes I just forget about this, and in the heat of the moment, I just keep going through it. But then I just suddenly realized, well, you know what? What if we're going to doing all of these things and people don't understand? And then there's no point. Okay. Yeah, the thumbs are starting to disappear, but I don't think I saw thumbs from all of you. Last row, especially the ones who don't have that camera on. Wesley, Jacob, Ananya, Daniel. Okay. And Seth actually did give me a thumbs up. Okay. Hey, Jacob and Ananya, are you guys here? Yeah. I don't know. I can't hear either of them. Okay, well, they've got to watch the video and make sure. And obviously, if anybody's stuck, all you need to do is it's a YouTube link. It's private, meaning only we can see it. And if you don't understand anything and you missed part of it in class because you got to go to you take a bio break or you're off screen for a moment, and you can actually go to that place in the video and post a question in the forum. Say, hey, at t equals 47 minutes. I don't understand what the hell was going on. Okay, there's so many people who can help, including a tutor. Okay, including a tutor. Hey, Dre, you just joined us. Did you? I didn't see you before.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, but did you just join us?
Yeah, like 20 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago.
20
Yeah.
minutes ago. Yeah, because I didn't see you. Were you all right? Okay. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. I mean, yeah, maybe I just missed you.
Yeah. What's the live check-in or like what is that? I saw that on the calendar. There's
Which
like
one?
checkups.
Hey, yeah, okay, catch-ups, virtual catch-ups.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
catch-ups.
Yeah, actually, yeah, here. Canvas calendar is actually buggy. And I think I've made this point before. It confuses the hell out of students. Because it keeps reporting events from past quarters as the current quarter events. So if you look at it, you look like you have a dozen Zoom meetings or something. Yes, in your calendar.
Yeah, I
And maybe
have like a
those
whole
are,
bunch.
yeah, expired meetings from the past. So I think your best bet is to just follow what we have in the syllabus. And also that table, okay? That table that we posted in the subreddit, that gives you a very good overview of when what is due. It's easier than logging into Canvas. Because, Canvas, at the very least, you're thinking about logging in, right? Waiting for it to load and looking at these things in different places and so on and so forth. But, you just want the essential information. Just take that printout, fold it up and put it in your pocket, okay? That tells you pretty much everything. You attend class and do these things, and I think everybody will be fine. Does it answer your question, Dre?
Yes. Yes.
Great. Okay, all right. So, and then what we'll say in the comment there is we are going to do something, yeah, right. We're going to write some code to print a character at a specific or a specified location on screen and use that functionality to display a mathematical function. Okay, break it up into the next line and all, right? So go after a character or so, at a specified, right? Go to the next line, location, yeah, yeah, right? And use that functionality. To draw a mathematical function, a math function, and then you can say, sin x within parentheses. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So you go to the next line. Within a rectangular box, spanning. What should we say? Right. So let's say 10 lines. No, let's say 20 lines. Yeah, 20 lines and 100 columns. Okay, 100 by 20. Okay, 20 lines and 100 columns. I think that will work. Yeah. All right. So we will say that we'll position the cursor like that. and our function is basically going to look, it's going to be inside of that box. Yeah, we'll get this is basically just the gist of it, right? So when we code it, it'll become very, very clear. All right, so blank line after that, blank line after that. Columns UMNS, right? And then you have an N after the M, and then the N is silent. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. So I was trained using namespace. Okay. Great. All right. Now line number 9. Go to line number 9 and hit enter. All right. And put a comment there saying this is the function. This is the function that will place the given character C at row R and column C of the screen. Yeah, column has the N, and yeah, column C off the screen. Okay. All right. Now on the screen. Yeah. Okay. See on the screen. Okay. All right. So on the next line. So this is a function, and we're using a function today, which you'll get into the details of next week when we talk about functions and how they work. Those of you who are enrolled in computer architecture, okay, you find these things really interesting. And how, the instructions, the compiler takes a C++ program, which is readable by humans, and it's going to translate that into machine instructions in the binary, to load it into memory in your computer. And the CPU is told, go to memory, fetch those instructions and execute them, right? So it's doing that like that. And functions, well, we'll talk about this next week, okay? And it's really exciting because, when we do a function like this today, so pay extra attention to how the function is, what the function does and how main calls it and drives it and so on and so forth, because all of this will make a whole lot more sense if you've thought about it now when we talk about functions next class. Because when I talk about, I think what I had planned to do was introduce some of the mechanics of what actually happens under the covers when you call a function, right? Like return address and so on and so forth, which will give you an introduction to a data structure that you are going to build in quest number 8. Okay, so the quest number 8 is a stack quest. And some of you will get to it in the next few weeks, I'm sure. Okay, and it's the first data structure you're ever going to build, right? In fact, even before the linked list, because mainly because this is a very simple data structure, and you'll be using a stack functionality that's provided to you by the operating system. Most of what I say now may not even make sense, okay? But, it's going to be on video, so you can watch it again if you want. All of this will, next week, I'm sorry, okay? So I just got carried away, but next week it'll make a whole lot more sense. Today we'll just go ahead and define the function, okay? So our function is going to be called, just say void for now, okay? Void, space, show char at, okay? Show underscore char at. Yeah, open term. Yeah. Now you can say char C, right? Char C, char speed. And I'm going to explain this, okay? Char C, a comma, size T, row. Now, does everybody understand what these things are? Just the types. Yeah, the types are, there's a character that says character is 1 byte. A size T, I think, is 4 bytes, size T, R. Oh, yeah, great. Row and great, okay. All right, okay, now, and put a space before the brace, and then we can go ahead and, complete the function. Yeah, okay, great. Now, I think what we want to do is do a cout. I'm going to try and remember what we had on that page, okay? Cout, left shift, After this is done, I'll just explain, what's going on, right? Now, within do we have to say within double quotes, we want the escape character, and I believe it is /033, okay? Octal 33, is it? Did someone find out, no, is it 027? Give me 1 sec, okay? I'm just trying to remember what the best way to print the escape character is. Because I don't want to use printf, which will just confuse things. I think it is. Can all right, so here it is. Within the double quotes, say slash.
It's 1B hex.
I'm sorry.
In hex, it's 1B.
Oh, I see. Okay, zero. Well, even does it work? 0x 1b. 0x 1b. Is that? No, I think.
I don't know.
No. Yeah, it is 0x 1b. How someone Google, right? So hey, just go to the Google tab and say how do I send an octal character to cout, right? Just Google that and go to the Google tab, the browser tab, and do that. So Isidore was here. Isidore, are you here? Because he did this in his project and he'd actually remember exactly what the or I should have looked it up before class. What's going on? Hey, Josh, do you have a tab? Or go to the Chrome window. All right. So another tab, and Google for how to send an octal. How to send the escape character to cout, right? We can just say how to send the escape character, right, to cout. I think it's 033. I think it's, yeah. Okay. I actually know, it might be, it's just like questing, okay? You're stuck with this bug and you don't know what the hell is going on. And let me go to the forum and type up the question. And as you're typing up the question, you know the answer. I know what the answer is, okay? You just need to say /033. And I have no idea why the hell we forgot, okay? So 033, no, /033. No, I'll tell you what that is, right? It's 033. Right, so 033 is the octal value of the number 27. Now, first of all, it's just one or two. I don't remember all of the octals, okay? I just remember this because of special case, but it's useful remembering. 27 is the ASCII value of the escape character. Right, so everybody just stay with me for just 1 second. It's actually a useful thing to remember and know, right? 27 is the escape character. If you want to send any character to cout inside of double quotes, all you have to do is put the / character and the octal value that you want to send. If you want to send the actual value 0, right, you send /0, yes or no? But technically what happens is that every string has a /0 at the very end. So 0 is actually part of the string, right? So if you want to send, let's say, 65, or the letter A, 65, uppercase letter A, right? And what is the octal value of 65? I don't know, right? Maybe it's some other number, 84 or something like that. So you say /084, right? 8885, right? And it will actually send ASCII letter A because it is sending that value out there. Now, maybe, it's useless for me talking about this because unless you have a use case and use it yourself, these things don't even make a lot of sense. We'll just go ahead and use it. If you have any questions, you can just say, hey, what's that? And we can dive further into it. Okay. Now, I think it's after that you have a square bracket. Chris, yeah, square bracket. And then I believe it was, it is, you can go outside of the, no, I think, outside of that. No, it's I see. You want to see this, right? Is outside of the quotes, and left shift row. Yeah, outside of, not there. Oh, I see. You have the. I can't see if it's square bracket or curly brace or but I trust you got it right. Okay. Thank you. That's much better, right? So now shift row. All right. Now left shift semicolon. I think they had a semicolon. But we'll verify this after we got this there. Okay. And then left shift column. And then I think it's left shift a capital H. Isn't that right?
Yeah, or a lowercase f.
Okay. All right. Now a semicolon there. Semicolon there. On the next line, you're going to say cout.flush. Okay, cout.flush. Now, why are we saying that, right? And it is actually a very useful learning point for today's class. So remember, cout is a buffered stream. So it's going all the way back to what Andrew. Andrew's here? Andrew asked a question.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So this is something about buffered streams and all. So it's a pipe And so a lot of stuff going in there. And because it's expensive to write to the screen, the system will buffer everything that you send to Scout and not actually show it on screen until it has a signal from you or the operating system, or the rest of the system saying, hey, this is a good time to just flush everything, right? Then we'll flush everything. Or you tell the pipe manager saying, hey, whatever you got in there, flush it. So either it is a programmer initiated thing or automatically happening thing. Now the automatic things are like endl, right? And heuristically also, if you have a /n, that's the end of line, right? Or you're accepting input from the user. All of these are heuristic decisions made inside the library saying, all right, these things are happening. We better flush, the outputs happens automatically. Unfortunately here, we're doing something totally esoteric here, right? In fact, many programmers have probably forgotten this. I'm pretty sure, right? In fact, if you have a programmer in your family or, in your network, you take this program and say, hey, you know what, do you still remember how to do these things? They'll actually be, very pleasantly surprised. Because I had to look this up too. But Isidore did a project, accelerated project when he was in 2B maybe. No, later on in 2A, he did an animation of a 3D cube spinning just with this. That's all we had, right? That's all we had. And so we have a lot of scope for developing this further in the next couple of weeks. So we'll use this, drive this to our advantage as much as possible. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's basically it. Now let's go to main and testing. That's it. Right. So, and this thing here, what we're doing here, it's just incremental testing. It is very useful to get into the habit of, even when you're just beginning programming, right? No matter what the language is. Today you have the luxury of writing programs and getting them compiled and run immediately, right? Which wasn't the case many, many, many years ago when I was growing up, right? And learning computer science. Computers, you had to book your time out. So, so that means you can make incremental testing a habit. And the way that works, I think, is that by just making incremental testing a habit, okay, it has to become a habit, meaning that every little thing that you're developing, if there's a chance to take a breather or a pause, right? Say I'm tired, whatever it is, but it has to happen. Every change, you just keep testing, rather than build out the whole thing and then it doesn't work and it's hard to test what's going on. And I think that once you get into the rhythm of incremental testing, it basically just guides your thought as well, okay? Because now you're not thinking about things from here all the way up here, which you have very low likelihood, no matter what, right? Whatever you shoot for, if you're already picturing that's what it is, you're basically screwed because, the odds of landing exactly there are very slim. However, if you actually figure out what it is there that you need, and then you figure out a whole band of places that you can go to, then your odds improve, yeah? And so that is basically, I think what it is. So you just do incremental testing and say, well, I'm not going to go there, but everywhere I go and I just see enough progress, I'll just move forward. And that way you just keep, that is a computational approach, I think, right? Computational approach as opposed to the mathematical, the analytical mathematical approach. Let me just put it, right? Analytical mathematics says you just, RHS, left-hand side and the right-hand side, they have to match up, bam, it has to go like that, right? But the iterative approach, the computational way of thinking about it is that, there's more than one way to prove the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side, okay? You can actually prove that it converges in the limit, right? Or basically it's closer and closer, but I can prove mathematically that it does get closer, although it never gets there. So all of those are really interesting arguments you can make. And so there is a whole field, enormous field of thinking that you can bring to bear, saying, I'm not actually shooting for the final goal anymore. What I've now found is that I just need to do incremental changes, okay? Because if I shoot for the final goal, it keeps shifting all the time, and I'm just ended up frustrated at the end of my life, right? But instead, I just shoot for incremental goals, anything that I can do which would improve, right? And keep going. Even adversities, you won't be too far off the track. So you just keep self-correcting all the time, and I think that's much better as an approach to programming in general. And I think it is something that has to be ingrained into younger programmers, even though many of them have instant, games and instant gratification. From testing itself, what I see is that lots of programmers just wait until they have everything in place and testing in one massive block. Okay, and I think it is an unhealthy habit in programming that maybe is fostered by other places where they were taught to program, which probably had historically taught instructors who had computing cycles at a premium or something like that, right? So I think it is something that you have to snap out of, and someone has to remind you to say every little thing you do, right? Just keep testing, 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 and that is really the computational way of thinking. So can I get closer to the solution, and that's how iteration happens. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry for the spiel. Okay. You guys should just, rein me in and say, let's, cut the bullshit. Let's talk. Okay. About the subject. Okay. Show char at, all right. So let's say, actually, let's write one more function. Okay. Let's write one more function. All right. So let's say a show string add. Okay. Show string add. I think that'll be more interesting. Right. So yeah, void show string add. Void show string add. And then instead of char c, say string add. Now this is the usage of function. Okay, same thing, same signature as before. Instead of char c, you have string s. Okay, and everything is exactly the same. Everything is exactly the same, including the function body. Now everybody should be having this in their own IDE, okay? Because when Josh says I'm done, someone's tagged someone, and you got to be able to take over. Okay. All right. Now, oh no. Hang on. Yeah. Okay. That would actually work. Strangely enough, that is going to work. Okay. So let's say show string at in our main. Let's go to show string at instead of show char.
Wait,
In our main.
I just noticed the problem for the show char at function. We never specify char C.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah. After the
Oh.
H. After the H. No, after the H. After the H.
Okay.
Hey, that is a good catch. Okay. Yeah, because otherwise we'd run it and nothing happens on screen. Yeah. Yeah. So on the next one too, you got to shift the string. Shift S. On the next one. On line 17. Hey, good catch. Thank you, Josh. Okay. So let's and then on line 22 say show string add. Right now, after Josh is done with this and it works, someone else should take over, and then do the rectangle. Okay, with someone else, exactly the same. So which means that you got to do this part, the show and the two show functions, and then we'll do another function that shows a rectangle. Okay, and maybe math. We'll think about it, right? Maybe we'll also do the sine wave or something like that, or maybe we'll do a horizontal line, and the one after that can do a sine wave. Okay, and the one after that then can do an animation. Just so it slowly builds up to an oscilloscope. Yeah, is that okay? Is everybody okay with that plan? It looks like I'm just saying this is what we'll do, and everybody's saying yeah, okay. That is the professor effect, okay? Because lots of people say, oh, the professor wants to do this, and so let's all do this. No, that is not. When I say let's do it, that's not what I want to do. Really, I'm saying, I have no idea what the hell to do. I'm just thinking this is what I should do. Someone help me out and give me a better idea. That's what I'm saying, right? So please go ahead. Okay, Seth and a few other people have said yes, but yeah, okay. All right, great. Show string at, say hello world, and then show it at 5,5. Okay, so it's not right there. It should be offset. So when you run it, it should be at some offset place. And no. Oh, I see. Yeah, 5,5. And then semicolon at the end, and then enter, semicolon at the end, enter one more time, and then a return 0. Yeah, run it. So you got to run it in a terminal. Terminal will be reused by tasks. So you got to go to the terminal. Is this a Mac or is this a Mac?
Yeah, it's a Mac.
It is a Mac. Where is it? Where is the binary?
The binary.
All right. How about this? Okay, if this is a Mac, I'll just show you how to do it on a terminal. Okay, just copy Command A, copy the whole thing, because I don't know that VS Code that much to waste time, confusing Andrew, Josh with my limited knowledge. Okay, copied that. Okay, just open a terminal. No, just yeah, just go to terminal. Terminal, just terminal. Yeah, there you go. Increase the font size. Command plus a few times. Command plus. Yeah, okay. All right. Now just go to there is a directory. There is a folder in the Mac system. All computers really, but in the Mac it's easier to access. It is called /tmp, Unix Select Systems, /tmp. It's a temporary folder. Anybody can create stuff in there, but you cannot delete someone else's stuff. It's really cool, isn't it? It's a public place. Anybody can go. You can create stuff, delete your own stuff, but you can't touch other people's stuff. So what we'll do is just go to /tmp and dump our stuff in there. Okay, I'll show you how it works. In fact, when you run VS Code or Xcode or whatever it is, this is what that is also doing, except that you don't know. It's all happening behind the scenes, okay? So here, what we'll do is that, say a cat, right? Just bear with me for a sec, okay? No, let's make a directory here. Or you are in /temp, right? So just make
Yeah.
your make dir, and a class code. Just say class code. Just so everything is in one place. Okay, class code.
Wait, class code or the class code?
No, just class code. Class code. Yeah. All right. Now cd into class code. Change my directory into class code. All right. Now this directory should be empty because you just created it and you're entering it. So to find out what is in the directory, you just say list all the contents. And the way you do that is ls, and you can say ls space -la, right? That says go show me the contents of the directory in long format, meaning more data plus even the hidden files, the stuff that you don't normally show other people, like dot and dot dot. Tell me everything in the directory. So it says that's what we have. Now we're going to create another file in this directory, and just bear with me for the syntax. I'm not going to go into the details of explaining Unix and Linux here, okay? But you can look this up later, okay? So say cat space greater than, and then oscilloscope.cpp, right? I think it's just say osc.cpp, osc. All right, enter. Now just paste whatever you have in the clipboard. Okay, all right, enter one more time. You have a main, you do have a main, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
And now hit Control D. Yeah, Control D. This is so strange, nobody ever creates files like this anymore. And it's a totally useless skill. I think it is only probably worth, it's not even worth nerd credit, I think, okay? All right. So now if you do an ls-l, where's the command prompt? Where's your command prompt? Are you in an editor of some kind?
No, just a terminal.
Well, I don't see the, oh, I see. You didn't hit Control D. You didn't hit Control D. Hit Control D.
Oh, I hit Command D.
Oh, you hit Command D? I hope it didn't stick an invisible character in there. Now you do an ls-l, do an up arrow, 2 times up arrow, 2 times up arrow. LA. No, just not a caret, up arrow. You have the up arrows on your Mac, yeah? Yeah, okay. So hit enter. All right, now you see that file, osc.cpp, that's what you created, yeah? Now what we're going to do is tell the machine, compile this, right? So I have a C++ program in this file. If you want to know what's in the file, just say cat osc.cpp, cat space, and then just hit tab, it'll complete for you, right? So that's a text file. So humans can read this file, but you're going to call a program called a compiler and give it this file saying, hey, here is a file that humans can write and read. Take this, convert it into binary instructions that only the compiler or the CPU can read, right? And give me another file. Okay, so that is the translation between human to machine code. That is called the compiler. Okay, now there are other languages like interpreters, like Python use an interpreter. An interpreter is different from a compiler, is much slower because it says, you give me the code that is in human readable format, I'll translate this and run it at the same time as I read it, right? Not at the same time, right? I translate it and run it, translate it and run it. So it's going to do it on, which means that if you want to run a program 10 times, it's got to be translated 10 times too. Yes? So in all these other languages, you have this translation over it. So compiler languages says, don't waste time. So give it to me once. I'll translate it once and store the translated stuff. If you're going to run it on this architecture, just keep running it again and again. So that is the power of compiled languages, right? Which you don't get. That is why even if you do something really kick-ass in Python or Java, most of the time, it's good to generate data, in Python especially, generate data, run libraries, and make sure your models are training okay, and everything is okay, right? Prototyping and checking stuff, that's, I think, great. But when it comes to production, right, meaning that I'm gonna put this into production, meaning I need to make money out of this, then you want to say, I want to cut everything, no wastage at all. Yes, because if you waste, you're not making enough money. So then you say, I'm not going to use Python for production. For production, I would just take the logic in Python and translate that into C++, right? Now, anyway, I think that is actually hugely valuable for companies, that are seeking to make a profit even, right? So when they have something that's working in Python, understanding both the problem space and the solution and C++ is very valuable, because you can understand what's been written in Python and then translate that into C++, which can actually go into production. Otherwise, it's only lab stuff. Right. And so that is super important. Yeah, and there's a great demand for that. Eventually, AI will do it, but there is a, great level of insight you can get into the problem space just by getting into the details like this. Anyway, all right. So now you want to turn this program, osc.cpp, into a binary. And the way to do that is this program called G++. Okay. That is a compiler, a free compiler, for C++, and it's GNU C++, and it's called G++. So let's see if your machine has it. Type G++.
Yeah, I already downloaded it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay. Right. So if you have this program, which is usually in the path, you can call it like this. What you can say is G++ and then OSC, right? Type O and hit tab, right? OSC. So you're telling G++, hey, Mr. Compiler, right? G++ is your compiler. Saying, compile this compiler, take my human readable osc.cpp and create an output file which only the machine can read. So -o, right, space, and then the output that you want is just going to be called OSC, right? So you're saying, all right, this program called G++ is going to compile this into this output program. So when Josh hits enter, hit enter. Okay. Well, actually, we wrote the program with no errors in it, so it didn't complain. So now if you do an ls-l up arrow until you get the ls command. Yeah, right. Now there's another way in which you can get previous commands too, right? If you hit !ls, it'll give you the first command that started with ls, right? Which is says hit !ls. That's also another way you can get the previous command, right? So all right. So now you see that a program there called OSC didn't exist before, but it exists now. Previously, you only had osc.cpp. Now you have OSC and OSC.cpp. Now you'll find out that OSC is actually much bigger than the C++ version. The C++ version that you wrote in human readable stuff is much smaller than the one that is translated to binary for the CPU, right? Now, and you may be thinking, now actually, maybe rather than me explaining the subtlety and the beauty of that, or the interesting thing about it, I'm going to leave this as, for you to ponder and discuss in the forum, saying, hey, you know what, we're going from a bigger vocabulary, bigger alphabet into something that is smaller. And why is this program bigger than that? Okay, so that is an interesting point to discuss in the forum. Do some discuss. You'll find that when you write bigger programs, it'll change. But now I think it is very useful to talk about. Okay, all right. Now if you run OSC, and clear the screen, Command L, Control L. Right. Now run the program /OSC. This is the program that
We need to make it executable first.
It is already, because you compiled it. G++ would no, do an ls-la again, up arrow, right? See, that's an executable file.
It is. Okay.
Yeah, it's RWX, meaning because the compiler, when it compiled your program, didn't find any errors, saying, and so it said, hey, this is looks like a legit program, it'll run. So I'm just going to make an executable file. So it automatically set the permissions to executable. So if you don't know Unix, don't worry about it. But it's useful to know. Since you're learning C++, you should absolutely get familiar with Unix in this terminal. Okay. Actually, one of our past students made a post recently saying, if you're doing CS2A or anywhere in the CS2 track, you should absolutely get familiar with how to use the terminal, okay? Terminal, because, just getting familiar with IDEs and stuff like that, well, that's okay. You can do Python and Java stuff. But if you're a C++ programmer, this is very useful to learn. It may seem a little foreign to some people, but it is totally worth your time, okay? Because everything you do here is what you will get inside of IDEs. And IDE basically runs all this and shields that from you by giving you nice windows around the outputs, okay? So if you hit enter, you should see hello world appear. There you go, line 5 and column 5. Is that correct? JOSHG. Yeah, that's column 5. Yeah? Great, okay. All right, so now, so far it worked. Now, does anybody have any questions as to how we got here or what this is doing? Now, this is a good point to take a short break and then, short break meaning 2 minutes, right? Just discuss amongst yourself. So, hey, go back to that program, right? Cat the file, cat, oh, you got it here? Okay.
Here.
Yeah, even on the terminal, you can stay in the terminal. Yeah, all right, this is fine too. So this is fine. So if you have any questions, you can ask either Josh or myself. Maybe I'll step out from in front of the screen, right? So for a couple of minutes, you guys all get on the same page. Make sure that you understand what is going on, and you need to know why is this coming on? Why is this screen showing the string showing up at that location? And then why are we using a flush? All of those things are good questions to ask, okay? And if you have any ideas, you can do this too. And the next person that Josh nominates is actually going to, let's say we do something like, draw a rectangle, and then draw a horizontal line. That's the x-axis inside of that, okay? So well, let's do that, okay, for the next person. All right, so all right, and we can either do it in a terminal or a VS Code, or on GDB, anything that you guys are comfortable with, or even cpp.sh, okay? So I'm going to give you 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, okay? Let's say 5 minutes, just to make sure that you guys are all comfortable enough with what we've done so far. If you have any questions, you should ask, right? If you have any questions, you should ask. Also, if you have any ideas, you should talk about this with each other. Maybe you have an idea and say, hey, you know what, when we resume, let's try that out instead of whatever idea that, Anand was planning to do. So you could say, well, let's do this. So you'll 5 minutes. Is that okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So now, you've got a little bit of stuff to do now, which is interesting. You can position this cursor, so that should open up a great deal of possibilities. So yeah, knock yourselves out. I'm just going to be here, okay? So if you want me, you should just call, right? You just call, and then I will. Okay, drink of water.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, what was the purpose of a
What's the purpose of the what?
flush method?
Oh, the flush. So when you print something out, it goes into a pipe, and the program optimizes when to print stuff out. But if you wanted to print it out when you tell it to, you have to flush it. Otherwise, it'll wait until the program ends to start printing.
Oh, okay.
You guys all okay?
Yep.
Should we resume or
I think no one has any questions.
Okay, Josh, just nominate someone else. And then what they should do is just get those two functions up in their own environment. And then we'll go with the next step, okay?
I nominate Jacob, I guess, and I'll stop sharing.
All right, should I start sharing now?
Hey, Jacob, have you shared your screen? Is this your screen or is it
Yeah,
Josh's
it's
one?
mine. It's
Great.
mine.
Okay. Thank you for your patience. Okay. All right. Okay. So what we want to do now is just draw a rectangle. So let's say create a function. Create a function called void show rectangle. Void show
Right here,
rectangle.
or do you want me to put it
Oh, yeah,
above?
create one more function. So we're just going to get familiar with doing lots and lots of these little things.
I'm
As
just asking,
function,
do you want me to put the function above the main function, or
just like this, just like a show string add. So show rectangle add. Show underscore rectangle add. And
Like that?
then the parameters should be oh, I see. Okay. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. I think that's much better. So don't say X1, don't say add, okay? Just say show rectangle and then size T X1, comma, Y1, X2, comma, Y2.
Size T X1 like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Then do you want me to do it for X1 to
Yeah, all
Y2?
four, all four, all four. X1,
Right.
X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Yeah. Yes, yes. No. You can do the body there. Space
Oh yeah, sorry.
curly brace. Yeah. All right. Okay. So now what we'll do is all right. So all right. So I think the first row and the last row will be different because they'll have pluses in the corners. Everything else should be okay. So let's print the first. I see. Okay. No, let's just as a rectangle for our practical purposes. Let's just say for when we are actually print a rectangle, we'll just print the pluses at the four corners. Okay, so when we look at it, we know that's a rectangle. All right. So all our activity will basically happen in there. And what we'll do is I'll leave it as extra credit for you guys to say, well, instead of just having the pluses, I'm also going to have a plus and then lots of dashes in the plus, right? And a plus, lots of vertical bars and a plus. So the vertical, so you have a nice drawn rectangle. So that I think that is more of a detail that is worth, By the way, when you, I should mention this to the 2B students more than and 2C also. When you do the reflections, it doesn't require for the different reflections to be long, but certainly don't include the tips of the quest in the reflections. I think it's happening more in the 2B. That could be separate. So you can say, I posted tips in this post, but in the reflections itself, don't dilute it by including the tips for a particular quest into your reflection. So I think that will make them more interesting to read. Also, if you have a link to, all right, that's where, and don't say tips at all. Don't give tips at all. You just say, here are some interesting things to look for in that quest. Okay, rather than give tips. I think is much better. All right. So here is what we're going to do. We just place pluses. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So when you say no tips, like if you're saying like, oh, in this quest, I had trouble with this, and this is kind of how I ended up solving it. That's like,
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. But I sometimes it's a gray area because that is safe what you described. But I think but I've seen some in which it's almost giving the solution away. Saying don't do this, but that is not. But I would prefer if the don't do this were not told to the students, because just being it's here. Okay, here's my approach to these things, these problems. Okay, none of the problems you're going to face in your questing journey are going to kill you. Okay, right? So and I think therefore I think if you and they're worth something, but they're worth nothing at all if I tell you what they are. Okay, but if they are worth something really good, if you basically just earn them yourself, struggle. And since they're not going to kill you, I'm just going to say go ahead and do it. Okay, and so yeah, thank you. So don't, that's why I say don't give the solution up. Yeah, I don't want to delete the posts on Reddit because some of them are also lots of exuberance having gotten through something. So you got to exercise caution and say, all right, well, you know what, just because I got excited about this particular solution, I'm not gonna overflow and kill someone else's excitement. Okay, all right. So what we want to do is well, go up to the previous line before the comment. But yeah, 24 and 23 and hit enter. And start a comment. Start a comment. And the comment should say, place a plus sign. Place a plus sign. Where's my, yeah, I have a piece of cloth here. There it is. Okay. All right. Place a plus sign at the locations. At the locations. X1 comma Y1. Within parentheses, within like a geometric point. Yeah, thank you. Right? And then comma. No, you don't say and because that's a Boolean operator in C++, right?
Oh, sorry.
No, comma, but you got a 4. You got four of those.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then X1 plus instead of X2, Y2, why don't we just say call width and height? Okay, width and height.
Like this?
Yeah.
Do you want me to change it in the show rectangle function, or do you just want me to change it in the comment?
No, here. What you did was good. Change the Y2 into a height.
All right.
And then in the comment, you can say X1 plus width. X1 comma Y1 2, and the other one is X1 comma width comma X1 plus width comma Y1. X1 plus width. The other one, the second one.
Oh.
The first one is X1 plus 0. Yeah.
Okay, this one's X1 plus width, right?
X1 plus width comma Y1. And the third one should be X1 plus width, Y1 plus height. I think we'll find out. We'll find out if this works. Is everybody okay? By the way, why didn't someone else tell Nadal what the hey Nadal, is this Nadal? Who's coding, by the way?
Yeah, I'm coding. I just don't have my name on here as an adult. It's Jacob.
Where? I can't see you. Oh, I see. It's up there.
It's automatic. It always changes my name to Jacob whenever I join the Zoom. So
no. I was looking for the shared screen and I couldn't see your name there.
Oh.
Okay. Y plus Y1 plus height. So is it the fourth point? No, I said, and then the fourth point.
Yeah, I mean, you were asking me to do the third one, but the third one, I'm wondering, it's identical to this. It's the same thing.
Oh,
This
no,
and this are identical.
I see. No, hang on. No. The second one is X1 plus width and just Y1.
Oh, this one was just plus Y1. Sorry, just Y1. That's it, like that.
Plus Y1. Yeah. Right, and that one is both of them plus height plus width. And the fourth one is and I'm not going to say what the fourth one is. Someone else should call this out, okay? What's the fourth point?
Probably that.
Okay. I think that is correct. Yeah. Is everybody okay with this? Right? It's 4 points. Now, Nadal, what you can do is go and enter, put a type in front of the show rectangle. I think it's got to be void.
Void.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And then inside, one line up, you can say, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to watch. You can say, all of you guys figure out, okay? You need to go to these 4 locations and put a plus sign, okay? Basically, you want to show char at these 4 locations and the char to show is plus, okay? I'm not going to say anything at all. It's up for you guys to solve. Hey, Nadal, it looks like you've coded for quite a bit, right? So this is your 3rd or 4th opportunity now?
I don't know. I mean, I think I only coded once, maybe. I don't know. Not many times.
All right. Okay. Anyway, I remember. I just remembered.
The first time I did something was during the module 0 during data representation. Okay. I think I may have done something after that. I don't recall necessarily. So.
Okay. But that's okay.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine doing this though because it's.
Yeah, I know you're fine. Okay. Because the thing is, I got to be careful, and that because programming can be addictive and people can get sucked into it. I got to be careful that everybody gets a chance. Is that okay? But you got to do this. You got to do this, Nadal. Okay, after this one, when you tag someone else. But whoever tagged you, Wendy tagged you, right? So you got to make sure that you tag people who need more practice.
Do you want me to tag
I'm the one that tagged them?
Yeah, Josh tagged me. But when do you want me to tag someone else? Like.
Yeah. After this function.
After this function? Okay.
Yeah, finish this. Let's finish this.
All right. Do I have to do that right there? Or
No,
can I
no,
do
no, no
something?
void there. No void. No, no,
Oh, I
no,
thought
no,
you wanted me to put a void
no
there.
penalty. Leave it with the void. With the void. Put the void there. Yeah, in
Oh,
front.
void back.
There you go. Thank you.
That's
Sorry.
it. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that's
Now,
fine.
what, yeah, show char add and then the 4 pluses. That's all, okay? And someone should talk us through this code. No, don't type anything, okay? Until someone
Hmm?
says this is what we got to type.
Okay.
Right? So it's an uncomfortable silence. Nobody's talking, okay? So everybody's waiting for someone else to talk. You got to keep on talking. Otherwise, it'll just die out.
Shouldn't you first define the character? In other words, the plus sign, put it in a character variable or a constant.
Great. Let's do that. Let's try that. I think so. If it doesn't work, we'll find out. Yeah. Just try
Yeah.
anything. Even if it doesn't work, we'll find
So
out.
you
We'll just,
do const character equals plus in quotes. No, I don't mean, well, okay, that's fine.
Is that what you mean? Or
Whereas, yeah, I mean, I was saying just constant const, no a space and then character. In other words, make it a constant.
Doesn't
No.
the character
Is that fair?
have single quotes?
Pardon?
sorry?
No, that's fine. And then just a semicolon at the end of it.
The variables doesn't have a name.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot the name. C. I put
Or is it
constant
the
character
end?
C equals plus. No. Constant character C equals plus.
by the way, I think it is single quotes. Let's save us sometime later. We haven't encountered this before. Single quote for characters, double quote for
Oh yeah.
strings.
Mhm. And then you can use the show character function, I would have thought, to show the character
Yes.
at the locations.
All right. Can you walk me through it?
Show character at underscore at open paren then C for the character, comma, and then X1, Y1 question. That's
Yeah,
for
that would be
that's
like the
for
first point, and you could like copy it 4 times and then modify those ones for the rest of the points.
I'll be honest. I'm a little confused.
Okay, so what you're doing, the Y1, comma Y1.
So you want me to change this to
No,
Y1, or do you just
keep the
Yeah.
X1, add a comma, Y1,
comma Y1
Yeah.
like above.
and a semicolon.
Yeah. Oh, and then you want me
Now
to do show
copy that
character
line.
and then copy the entire line and change these inside to whatever I have here. And I do
Yeah.
4 times.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Now, 1 second here. So then after that, it's x1 plus width. Y1, yeah, and then it's x1 plus width plus height. And then this one's just plus height.
Yeah, we need to define width, height somewhere, don't we?
That'll happen in the main function when you call show rectangle.
Oh yeah.
So you're
that's
saying
true.
we're just gonna do that later, or do you guys want to do
That's
that
true,
now?
that's
We just-
true.
You should not do it now. You should
Okay.
do
Yeah,
that once you
yeah.
it's your main function.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought a little later. All right.
So
Should I pass it on to someone
that's
else?
it, isn't
Or
it?
No,
Yeah, I
you
think so.
run it. Nadal, you got to clean up and run it, and then we pass it on.
got it.
Because you're
Right.
so close. And now clean up the last blank line also. Clean up the blank and put a blank line after the declarations before you start showing characters.
Place it where?
After you got const char C equals plus, And I think it's
Yeah.
still got double quotes. It's got to be single quotes. Yes.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And then and then a semicolon at the end, and then an enter. Okay,
All
I think
cleaned
it's
up.
clean enough. You should run it.
I have a
Oh
I have
yeah,
a
hang on,
question.
don't run it.
I
Yeah,
just
okay.
want to ask, would it be show underline char or show underline character?
Oh wow. Wow. Okay. Totally overlooked that. Yeah, change the name of the function. I think is rather than change this because you got 4 of these to change. We change the name of the function, you only have 1 of those. So show char at line 31. Change that to show character at line line 31. Line 11. Go to line 11. Go to line 11.
Oh. Yeah. You know, to change the character.
I think that is the better, more efficient route. Thank you, Caitlin.
All right.
I think you should run now, yeah?
Let's see.
Wow.
Oh, I made a spelling mistake. Give me a second here. I need to find. There it is.
Okay. Open up, what it's doing. Because main, you were saying, show string at hello world. All right, so you got to say show rectangle at 5,5 and show rectangle at 5,5. No, the function that you just, the
Yeah,
function
that's
you
up
show
here.
rectangle at. Oh,
Yeah,
show
it changed it automatically for me. I don't know why I didn't do that.
No, call it show rectangle. Whatever you were typing, I think was the right thing. Just say show rectangle. Not there. Instead of show string at, you're going to say show rectangle. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I put the hello world back in here, but I changed this to show rectangle.
Show rectangle. You make that show rectangle, and then instead of hello world, you just say 5,5, and then width will be 1. Width, let's say width is 20 characters, and the height is 10 characters.
So how do I represent that here?
5,5, comma, and the width is 20, so comma 20.
Yeah.
Comma, I think 10.
Right.
Now, no, wait a sec. Remove the blank space before the 5. Remove the blank space before the 5.
Yeah.
No, one sec before you run it. I want to point out something. Okay. So, and I think this is one of the drawbacks of an ancient language like C++, is that this thing here is unsightly and it doesn't make any sense to someone who reads it, saying, even for a programmer, you wrote this function, set rectangle. What do these numbers mean? Right? So I'll show you a better way of writing exactly the same thing, which doesn't make any difference whatsoever to the machine, because the compilers these days will take care of all the optimization and will do exactly this. Okay. So comment this out. Line 35. Line 35. Comment out line 35. Yeah. Comment it out. Oh no, comment it out. Comment the beginning of the line, from the beginning of the line. There, before the S put. Yeah. All right. Comments. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just going to turn this into a comment though, so I'll just.
Yeah. That's what comment. No, turn that into a comment. No, turn that function into a comment. Comment the function out. Yeah. So the terminology that you'll see a lot of programmers use is comment out a line. And this will be very useful for you as you quest, because when you program and you quest and your quest doesn't work, many of the times you just get to the root of the problem by commenting out things that are problematic. And when people say comment it out and try it again in the quest, it just means, don't do this. That's all. Right. So that's what commenting out means. Everybody, not just not all. Right. So, all right. So now start a new comment. So, right. And say, we're going to rewrite the function above. We are going to rewrite the function above in a much better way. Okay. Now on the next line, say size t. No, indent in, like, indent. Yes, size t space, and say x equals 5, comma, y equals, was it 5? Yeah, I don't know, maybe 5. Let's say 5.
Yeah, and then it was 20 and 10 after that.
Yeah, and then comma, and then width equals 20. Right, comma. Now we're going to do something that Paul suggested. Okay, semicolon after that. Semicolon after that. Now go to the beginning of the size t, go to the beginning of the line 37, right? Go to the beginning of the line. No, yeah, before size t. Put the word const, okay? I think Paul used that with line 26 when he defined a character. And that means it's a signal to the compiler saying, I'm not going to change these things, so use the storage inside of the CPU that is most optimal for something for which the user already tells you it's not going to change at all. So these things actually matter, even though today's compilers are intelligent enough to figure out when things don't change and store them properly. But doing this has a dual benefit. Not only does it tell the compiler this is what you got to do, but it will prevent you from accidentally changing these values, because in your program, this is the biggest benefit that you get, right? When you tag something as const, it is the compiler, a signal to the compiler saying, have my back here, okay? Because I don't have the time to track whether this thing is going to change or not, because I'm going to be buried in the logic of my program and thinking about things, solving the real world problems here. Okay, so I'm going to offload as much as possible to the compiler, which can keep an eye on these things. So that's why C++ has all of these things, because you can do lots and lots of important logical stuff without having to worry about these details, which you offload to the compiler. Hey, that's const, that's virtual, that's a destructor. All of these things you just tell the compiler and it'll take care. And it'll just filter it out. It's actually very hard, okay? It's, when you do this, for simple programs, it's okay. But if you have a function that's const or a parameter that's const, and tracking down something that goes from one function to another, hand it over, okay? And making sure nobody changes them, right? Even though it changes hands many places, nobody changes them. These are hard things to do. Compilers are really good at it. And so that's why it's really useful to tag these things with const. We never had a chance to use const until now. And I took the opportunity to talk about this because Paul used the word const. Okay, I don't think we've used const before in any of our declarations, have we? No? So is this kind of new to most of you? And you need to know this for the questioning, by the way, okay? You need to know this because, you need to know what is const and how to use const, because if you know how to use these things properly, it'll save you a lot of headache in your questioning. And the reason I don't have a lot of compiler errors, lots and lots of experience after experience, you don't run into that many compiler errors, because as you're programming, you're automatically taking care of these things, because you've run into these, these things don't work. And so things will just fall into place automatically, yeah? And so that is generally what tends to happen. So you need to know about these const and things like that. All right, okay. All right, now enter. And you say show rectangle at x, comma, y, comma, width, comma, height, okay? And I think this should do the same thing. Now, does everybody agree that this function is exactly the same as what we had before that was commented out on line, what is it, 35? Yeah. Everybody agree that this is better than that, although it's exactly the same? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and this is, I think, I used to call this magic numbers, okay? When you have things like constants, string constants, these things, numbers that go in your code, and you actually have to call the original programmer back, say, hey, what do these numbers mean, okay? And they probably moved 5 companies by then, or whatever it is. So it's a magic, because only that person knows what the hell goes on. Everybody else, befuddled. Right? Don't know what the hell is going on, right? So don't have to go to Vegas. Just study some programmer's code that doesn't know what the hell is doing, right? So lots of magic in there. But magic numbers should be avoided, okay? Because magic numbers are like speed breakers on a highway. When you are programming at high speed, maybe right now you're not going at high speed, okay? By the time you get to CS2C, you're actually programming at high speed. I don't mean speed meaning your programs run fast and lead code kind of thing. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, you're thinking through the problem, solving it. It's much, much faster. You'll actually be able to notice the difference because you're thinking algorithmically, which you're probably not used to right now. And then it just takes a little practice. When you start thinking algorithmically, you're just going to bring all the skills you already know in another field, right? If you're a mathematician, if you're a painter, or whatever it is, all the skills you already know, to bring them to bear on this new skill that you've learned, and say, what can I adapt from that in here? Okay, so it'll just come automatically. But so you'll be going fast and thinking through things and coding things fast. When you're doing that, these little problems are like speed bumps, okay? Meaning that you're going fast, and then there's, and you can't go because there's a bug that stops you. And it's an annoying bug, okay? It's not like a bug that is satisfying to solve. Many times, some of these bugs are really, really satisfying to solve. later on, even in production when you go onto work, solve. But in order to get the satisfaction of solving that big bug, you will have to suffer the ordeal of working through a lot of a million annoying bugs. Okay, and the thing is, most people are willing to do that even for no pay, because they want to know what the hell is there, and I am willing to do this. As long as they have a sure path to get there, they'll actually toil to get there, right? And you'll actually see that happening. And I think one of the reasons why that happens is also that, as you program more and more, you get inured to the little bugs, saying, well, the little bugs just cost a little bit of time in getting to my goal. Means the speed bumps, they don't push you back, they just slow you down, so you know that you're not going to be stopped. But if you have never encountered the little bugs, then you'll feel that every little speed bump is basically going to wreck your car. and so you'll say, well, I can't go, there's too many speed bumps here. Okay, no, you can go, you just go a little slower, that's all. And so I think that is what programming inculcates in workers, is to say sometimes you can't get a one-step solution, but the incremental solution is actually much better in many cases, right? And it actually works nicer. But so if you run it now, I think you'll actually see the rectangle appear with the pluses. Okay, and then the next person to take it on.
Wait.
No,
I
it
think I just
doesn't.
need to change this because you told me to change it to. You told me to do show rectangle at.
No. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just show rectangle. So this has at least.
There you go. What do we say? Yeah. What is this? Increase the size of the black console. Increase the size of the black console. I think the other ones disappeared up on screen. Increase the size. No. Increase the size. Yeah. Right. Run again. Yeah, increase the size and then run again. You should see 4 of those.
There it is. I can see them the 4 now. Let me explain it.
Hang on. How many rows and columns did we say? How many rows and columns did we ask for? Did we get the row and column mixed up? I think we got the row and column mixed up. Show rectangle at width and a height. Okay. It should be like this. It's not like that's some bug here. Okay.
Right, so you're saying I need to flip them around. Am I flipping this right here, or am I flipping these?
Oh, is it row and columns? Yeah. I think maybe it's row and columns. You got to flip them. No, don't. There are parameters when you call change the width and height in the parameter list. On line 25, change width into height and height into width.
Yeah, okay.
Someone should find out why it's not, what is a mismatch there? Width and height.
Yeah. There you go. That looks nice now. It looks like actually
it looks nice, but is it right? I don't know if it's right. Can you increase the size of the code? Increase the size of the code again?
Yep.
What did we say? All right. So here we said x1, y1, and then the height, which is a number of rows. Height is the number of rows, and the width is the number of columns. Okay, and here, height and width. And here, when we call it.
Wait, never mind. Continue. Sorry.
I think we messed up. Y1 plus height. Someone's got to debug this. We shouldn't waste class time debugging this. I think, in my opinion, the pluses were inverted. It's like, it's a matrix transpose. It's supposed to be like this, not like this. And to my eyes, it looks like something was wrong there, but I can't tell. Now, I think it'll be useful and instructive and fun for one of you to figure out something wonky with that rectangle. Not quite right. Okay, so you got to figure out. But do we need this for the next step? I'll think about that. Okay, think about that. Anyway, so this is what we've done so far. Let's take it to the next step. Now, Nadal, thank you so much. Okay, thank you for and you were nominated by Wendy, right?
No, Josh.
Josh, thank you for coding. I totally forgot to thank you. All right. And Josh, are you there?
I'm here.
Great. Thank you so much for coding. Okay. And Nadal,
no problem.
Yeah. Nadal, thank you. And you should nominate someone, hopefully someone who hasn't coded. Try someone who you don't remember coding at all. And
sorry for needing help today. I didn't really start the material for this week quite yet, so I apologize for that.
What do you pick someone for?
I don't know. Never mind.
What are you apologizing for?
I don't know. I just wasn't prepared for this lecture for today. I didn't really start the new week's material yet.
You did quite fine. I didn't see anything wrong with this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
Never
everybody had a
apologize,
great
we're
time.
in class.
Everybody had a great time. Everybody had a great time, right? With this code. Yeah, and we actually got the rectangle too. We got the rectangle.
Yeah.
And in fact, we ended up better because there is this transpose problem. So you guys have to figure out what the hell is going on. Maybe Josh will, Nadal will figure out and share it too. But you got to figure out why it's showing up like this instead of that.
I think if we just change one of the parameters somewhere, if we change that, I don't know, maybe it might work. All right,
Yeah,
I'll
but you
choose
gotta
someone.
you gotta track it down, saying, oh, if rows, columns, height, width. I've had this problem before when I mix up a height, row, and row, height, column, width. We shouldn't use these different terminologies. We should be consistent in saying always use row, column, or always use height, width, right? And I think we did both, and we got totally confused at the end. So you guys can fix that later on when you do your own thing. Okay. So now, thanks, Nadal, right? So you're going to nominate someone, and then this person should take this. And what we'll do is maybe we'll fix this problem with the next person, okay? And then we'll make that much bigger, a rectangle much bigger, and draw a horizontal line in the middle. That's going to be the middle of our oscilloscope, okay? And I think that's pretty much there. And then the next, after that, we can basically just do the sine wave on top of that, okay? I think the next person will actually do that, and the one after that will just repeat that.
I'm just curious because you told me to change it. So like when we do it, it's like a square. Do you want me to change it back into like a vertical rectangle, like it was earlier, or no?
Yeah, change it into it doesn't matter because the next person has got their own version anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has Alan gone yet? I don't know.
Alan's gone. Yeah, Alan's gone like 100 million times now.
How about Daniel?
Daniel too.
Oh,
You
bad
guys are
memory.
just calling each other. You got like a secret society, and I'll just nominate each other, right?
No secret society. I just have really bad memory.
People.
All right, Ananya, I guess. Or did this person go as well?
I don't know. Because I asked Ananya before and she didn't respond. So a few other people. Mazen, are you here? Mazen, are you here?
I think
I'm here. Yeah.
I think he went too recently, if I recall.
Yeah, Mazen. I'm not nominating him, by the way.
Okay.
I think Seth, Rena, on Dre coded recently. Paul didn't code at all. I think he just voiced over for you. I don't know. It's up to you.
All right, Paul, would you like to code, or?
I believe Chloe also never coded.
I think Paul's muted.
Sorry, I was on mute. Sorry. Yeah, sure.
No.
I'll give
Great,
it a
great.
try.
All right.
And Paul nominates Chloe, or we're actually pretty done, right? We've covered almost everybody, and then we can do and we're not even to the middle of the quarter. We've already covered most people, and so everybody gets a chance to code multiple times, which is absolutely fantastic. Okay?
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep mine as a square, so whatever.
Yeah,
I'll adjust it.
You can disconnect and Paul can take over.
Okay.
I'm using GDB, so how do I share? Do I just click share?
Yeah,
you just share the screen or the tab or the window or whatever. You just press the share button. You should see a few options. You can just select the one that has the.
I think you need to stop sharing first.
Yeah, I need to stop sharing. Then you can do it.
Oh, you mean on
Zoom? Yeah.
On Zoom. Of course. And that one. Okay, can you all see that?
Great. Hey, how come you're not in dark mode? I see.
Sorry? Not in dark mode, no.
Oh, I see. Yeah. All right. Okay, cool. Online GDB. All right, so you got everything, and it does give you the rectangle and all, right?
Yeah, we can run it and take a look.
Great. Let's just make everything consistent, like I was talking about before. Let's just make everything row column, okay? And I think that maybe fix our problem too. So size T X on line 17.
Line 17.
Oh, not line 17. I'm sorry.
You mean line 24?
24. Yeah. Say height, say rows, right? Rows or n rows, and
N
or
rows.
whatever it is, num rows.
Numbers.
Yeah, num rows. And then num columns instead of height. I think that might actually, I think num underscore rows would be easier to read.
Okay, so
num underscore
num rows.
yeah, and then instead of width, let's say num underscore columns or num underscore calls.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Now that is very clear, isn't it? So what we want to do is show char, show the plus at x1 comma y1. Oh, by the way, if you fix a comma, why is a comma so far away from x1? And also from C, right? So
no reason really other than just visibility.
Oh, I see. Okay, but this one's got two spaces, three spaces and a comma, two spaces and a comma after the x1. Now x1, x1 comma y1. Oh, the first dot doesn't change. Yes, the first dot is x1 y1. The first plus is x1
the first
y1.
plus is x1 y1, right?
And then the next one is x1 plus num rows. Yeah, and num columns, x1 plus num columns. And then x1 plus num columns, and then y1 plus num rows. And the last one is x1 comma y1 plus num rows. Is it num rows? Yeah. All right. Now, when we call it in main, oh, again, yeah, width and height. We'll just say instead of width, we'll say num calls.
You have two pluses on line 30.
On line 39.
Yeah.
I also think you're not supposed to have show rectangle as, just show rectangle. And then after they have x, y, num columns, num rows. So just show rectangle. Line 40.
Just show rectangle.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I think the name of the function is show rectangle at, isn't it? Or it is on mine.
I think
what he's referring to is that in the middle of the class we kind of had a problem with we defined it as show rectangle at, and then later on we wrote show rectangle. So I think as long as the function matches, the name matches, then it should be all right.
Yeah, I think
it's
so.
just like, yeah.
All right, my bad. I'm sorry.
Okay, no
I was just
problem.
looking at my code. So
Good to question. So we were in, sorry, num. Was this columns? I think I was going to write columns.
No. There it's in main. It's in main, isn't it? So it is x comma y, and then it's num columns is. Oh, I see. We got to change line 39 also. We forgot that. Yeah. Line 39 also. You got width and height. You got to change that. So
yeah.
I got.
Okay.
It's rows then columns.
Is the other way around?
Yeah.
Are we all in agreement on that? Because I've lost track.
You can check on line 24. It's like in the order that it's declared. That's the order you got to call it in.
Numbers, you're right. Yeah. Okay. What's going on here? I can't seem to. Oh, I can't type anything at the moment. My screen is locked.
Yo, what happened to your screen?
I don't know. I can't. Oh, it's back. There was something on the screen that was preventing me from typing in. So.
Now let's see if that gets it to us the right side up. Okay. I think this might work, right?
hopefully.
No, I think we want only 10 rows, but lots more columns than rows. Because rows are fatter, aspect ratio wise. Columns are thinner, so you want more columns. And we got more columns too. So let's say columns, num columns is like, 50 even, or 100. Num columns is 100. Oh no, if we got it wrong, then it'll be like this and we can't see. Right. So let's say 50. Or whatever works.
It
Right.
looks
So
like
yeah, 2010 should
2 to
be
1 ratio.
Hmm?
From when you gave us 20 columns and 10 rows, I printed a square. So I think if the ratio is 2 to 1, then it'll be a square.
2 to 1. Yeah, 2 to 1 seems like the right thing. Yeah. Oh, actually, it actually did work now. Did you run it, Paul?
No, hang on.
Oh, it
That's
worked.
what we-
It does work. Because now you see it's like, and why did it also print hello world?
Because I left the hello world in there.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right, okay, all right, okay. That is so funny.
I could take that out.
All right. Okay. All right. So, oh no, is this right now? Is this right? 10.
Yes.
Oh, you changed the numbers?
Have I changed the numbers? No.
All right. Okay. So is it now 10 rows? That looks like 10 rows, and then number of columns is 10 too.
I think
see.
you have to kind of enlarge the black part of the screen and just run the code again. That usually makes it work.
Yeah. Try.
Except the problem is that, oh, actually it doesn't. I guess I don't know. For me, it did that, so I don't know. 'Cause for me, the rectangle is still like this, opposed to like that.
I see. Hey, it works. Now change it to 100. Okay, the number of columns to 100. Yeah, run it. Great. Oh, why didn't it work? No, where did you change the number of columns to 100?
Yeah.
Why didn't it work here? Show rectangle add.
Oh,
Why
it did.
Hmm?
I think it did work. It's just that it's off the page.
Oh, it didn't clear the old thing, and then no,
Yeah.
but
Let's run it again.
yeah, run again.
Yes, that it's just on the page. Can you see it?
No, it's yeah. Okay, you see,
Yeah.
that is wrong. That is wrong. That is not what I expected. I think I know what the hell is going on. Okay, I think I know what the hell is going on. All right, okay. So the problem is in show char at. Okay, go to show char at. In
Yeah.
show char at, no, right at the top, right at the top. Right at the top. You say show char at, okay? Yeah, that 033 thing. I think it is a column and row interchange there. Change the row to column here and column to row. I think that's what you'll find in the documentation. I think if you do that, I think it'll be okay. Change row to column.
Oh, when you call,
and then also the column to row.
okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Someone was saying something. Wesley? And also the other one. So show string at. Column and rows, switch them. Hey, Wesley, were you saying something?
So for it to be char and then basically the X value and then the Y value, it has to be size T column and then size T row instead of size T row and then size T column.
Great. So that's what we fixed to now. Yeah.
Switch that in show char, then you can leave the body alone.
Great. If you run it now, we should be able to see the rectangle horizontal strip. Great. Okay. Now we got our movie screen. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now change the number of rows from what is it now? 10?
It's 20.
Yeah, 20. Make that 30 rows. Okay. Make that 30 rows. Okay. Now what we want to do is draw a horizontal line 15 rows down, 100 characters long. Now, it is a simple thing that will involve a loop. Okay, you're going to write a loop. So I'll do the outline of the function, you guys are going to fill it in. How about that? Okay. So go to the line above. No, not there, not there. Go to the line above line 33. Line 33. Go to line 33.
Okay.
You hit enter. Oh, there you go. One more enter, and then go up. So there's a space between you and main. There you go. Right now, say void draw line at. Void draw line at. Draw underscore. No, no. Draw
underscore line at.
Now, obviously, we've done these three things. Now you already have the, a good idea of how you can play with this later, because we've done these three things, like draw character, show character, draw line, draw rectangle. Now you can just take it away, and in your spare time, you can do things like draw circle, okay, draw ellipse. You can do a whole lot of things, and then using that, you can create your own animations and movies too. It's all a great deal of fun to do, right? And the reason it is good is because the fun part of it will take away the notion of grinding practice. You got to do this. The thing is, you have to do this in order to get familiar enough with the material, okay? And if you're just practicing it without fun stuff in it, it'll be a grind. So do this with all of these variations thrown in. Before you know it, you would have practiced enough, but you would also had fun. Otherwise, practicing is a pain. Okay. All right. I think that's what I think. Right. Okay. Now, so it runs now. All right. Here, what you're going to do is we'll put the comments on top. Okay. Go to line 33 and hit enter. Go to line 33 and hit enter. And go to the beginning and start the comment. Right. And say set the line, set the character hyphen. Right. Set the character hyphen. Right. Set the character or draw the character hyphen or whatever it is at all locations between x1 comma y1 x1 comma y1 and x1 plus length comma y1. Okay, so we need to change the signature of the function too. And x1 plus x1, and these two are points. X1 comma y1 is within parentheses. Yeah, and the other one also in parentheses. X1 plus length comma y1 comma y1.
Sorry, comma.
Yeah, y1, right? And then put the last two of these in parentheses. X1 plus length plus comma y1, right? No. X1, the what you already have, x1 plus length comma y1, that's a point. So you can put that.
Oh, x1.
And then the first one is also a point.
Sorry, you're right, sir.
Yeah. No. It's hard enough doing this in Zoom, right? So, and the first one also is a point. The first one is also a point.
Right.
Okay. All right. Now, in your signature, line 36, row comma call comma row comma call comma length size t length size t length size t len, right? Size t comma len. All right. Now, and I'll just talk through this code also, because it's fairly simple, and also because we're nearing the end of time today. I'll talk through this, but ideally, I would like for you guys to have written this too, because it is a fun thing for you to interact, just like you've been doing in the past. So although I'm going to talk about this, talk through this, I would highly encourage you guys to just do it yourself. Or get into groups and have, one person dictate and everybody else watch, just like we're doing now, except I'm not there. Okay. And do that. And it's hugely instructive. Okay. Right. So here's what we're going to do. First, what we'll do is put a comment there, put a comment there saying, position the cursor at x1 comma y1. Okay. And I think there is an ANSI character thing. Oh yeah, no, we can do that. Where we have that show character at, just let's grab that. Yeah. No, I think it's not row 1, column 1. It's just x1 comma y1. X1.
Oh, sorry.
X1 comma y1.
Sorry, I guess what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. All right, x1 comma y1. Yeah. Right. On the next line, you're going to say show. Not show char at. Let's go scroll all the way to the top, and we'll see that show char at, where we declared the function show char at. For show character at the top, right? So grab everything there. Grab that line 12. Grab that line 12. No, just line 12. Line 12.
Just line 12. Okay.
triple click, and yeah, all right, that's fine too, right? And copy command Q, right, and then paste it, a blank line there. No, hang on, no, yeah, there you go. Yeah, enter. Oh, actually, there you go. Yeah, thank you. And get rid of the C. Get rid of the C. We don't have the C. Now this part will basically just position the cursor there. We haven't put the character there yet. Now the cursor has gone there. Now we're going to loop from 0 to length and just print dashes. Okay, so that's all you have to do. So you can say for size t I equals 0. Yeah, and get rid of the space before the I. It's it's a different style because you're doing it differently, so that's okay, right? For I equals 0, semicolon, and then I less than what's the length? Length, I less than length, and then I plus plus, right? And then and then space and curly brace. Yeah. All right. Now I think what we want to do actually, Paul, copy that line, cut the line 38 and bring it inside the loop. Cut the line 38 and bring it inside the loop. The whole thing. Yeah, and put it inside the loop. Put there and get rid of the comment up there, line 30, 37, clean it up so it's gone. Now what we can do is all right, now instead of a column all right, now I want to do column plus I, right? Column plus I, right? Column plus I, no, there, instead of column there on line 39, no, on line 39, instead of column, say column plus I. The only thing is column plus I needs to be within a single within parentheses, okay. Yeah, okay. Now, no, one sec, okay. Now, and then after the H, left shift a hyphen, a dash. Okay. Now, all that does is that it is going to loop. This part combines looping and character positioning. So you got to think a little bit more about this, but it's worth just 2 lines. Okay, it's worth getting this right. All this does is doing a loop from x1, so that place, until that plus length. Okay, is that what we're doing? Column plus I, right? So I starts from 0 all the way up to length. So if the length was 10, it's going to do, column plus 0, column plus 1, column plus 2, column plus 3, all the way up to column plus 9. Yes or no? So that's 10 of those. So the loop will run 10 times. Each time it runs, the cursor goes to that position and puts a dash there. Okay, so when we run this, we're going to have to be able to see a line all the way through, right? Dash.
Initialize I as an int.
Oh, yes. Thank you. So yeah, size t, right? You can actually call it size t because it's not going to be negative. You can just say size t instead of int. We just get a habit of using size t instead of int. When you know that the character is the quantity is never going to be negative, you can just say size t. Now you can get rid of the curly braces because that's all we have. That's the only thing that the for statement needs. Get rid of the curly braces altogether. And then you can clean up the function. I think it's ready to go. Let's go to main and call it. Yeah, you can get rid of the blank lines and clean it up. But yeah, you can do that later. So in your main, instead of show rectangle, after you can show the rectangle. You show the rectangle, and after you show the rectangle, draw a line at. Let's go from x1. No, x1 comma y1 y. What is y? Why was it? Oh, we'll just give hard-code numbers here, okay? Let's just say, draw a line at 5 comma. This is bad, okay? We shouldn't be doing this, but you can imagine what's going on. 5 comma, and then let's just draw a line 50 characters long. Just say 50. Comma. Oh no, 5 comma 5 comma 10. I think what are the parameters, by the way? Draw a line at. What are the parameters that row, column, and length? Okay, so a row is 5 comma 0. Just go, draw a line from 0, right? And we can fix this later, right? 5 comma 0 comma 10. Let's see if we get some line on screen, right? And then we'll be able to fix everything. COLUMN. Where is it? Line 39.
Column was not declared in the scope.
No, line 39. Line 39. Oh yeah. Yeah. Of course. Not column. What is it?
You just call.
Call.
And also row is length. So, oh no, I'm sorry. Never mind.
Yeah, run it now. Okay, so something is weird. We need to switch things around, I think. No. It's I think what we'll do, go back to the code. We'll just switch go back to the code where the line thing is. I think in the draw line, where is the draw line?
Yeah.
I think what we need to do is do the row first and then the column plus I next. On line 39. On line 39, row goes
So
first and
the rows
instead of column plus I.
So which order? 10, 5, 0?
No. I mean on line 39. On line 39.
Sorry, on line 39.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just say just go in front of change that call plus I, cut call plus I, and say row instead of that.
Oh, I see.
Row. And then instead of row, say call plus I. I think that should work. Okay. And again, this is something that this level of attention to detail, someone should invest and figure out what is going on. All right, so we get this line.
We got the line. Yeah,
we got the line. Now it works, and unfortunately we are out of time. I'm happy to keep going, but people are going to drop off. And we can continue this because there's loops and functions and everything involved. We'll continue to do this. We'll do the whole oscilloscope on Thursday, yeah, with the function and the sine function and everything and animation. But I think we've built enough of this today to provide a good base for starting on Thursday, when we can build more into this with potentially arrays, because we can give it an array of values and ask it to plot it or something like that. So we'll introduce arrays as well as this animation and stuff that we've done so far, right? This is all more practice for looping. Looping is essentially, you're going to be invaluable when you start dealing with arrays and processing arrays. But this is basically what it is. The line happens. Hey, did you increase the length of the line?
Yes.
Okay, so it is right. So something's wacky about the row and column. I'm getting it mixed. Okay, so someone's got to look into that and say, hey, this is what when the prof dictated the code, this is what was going on. So we were getting this mixed. Okay, so I think this is fun. We've managed to get something drawn on screen, controlling the position. And this will work whether it's a terminal in Mac or Windows or out here in online, even in cpp.sh. Okay, and someone said, I think Ananya said something about Qt, a different IDE, and someone referred her to a cpp.sh. We've actually used cpp.sh before in class, and that is also a good environment. And I like that too. Just like online GDB, it's faster sometimes. So you can host your code there and share it if you like. And by the way, one of the things that the past student said was you guys should also be looking at creating your own GitHub repos. Yeah, this is as good a time as any to just create a GitHub repo. And maybe it doesn't have anything now, and you're just going to have Quest code. You have a folder called Quests and put all your Quest code there. In fact, in other classes at Foothill, they actually require you to submit your assignments to Git or GitHub. So you got to, do the check in your code and notify the professor, right? In our case, we're not doing this, but no reason why you shouldn't be doing this yourself, yeah? Because later on, when you're out there, with your credentials, everybody will be looking for a GitHub repo and so on, okay? I think, and it's fun for you to share what you're doing, because if you do something interesting, you can actually say to your classmates, hey, go to my GitHub repo, fork my code, develop it, and check in your own version. That's much easier and better than doing it on Reddit, I think. I know you should discuss it on Reddit, but sharing code is best done on GitHub, okay? So do that. And I think, the student who went to UC actually found firsthand experience that it actually helps, even in your other classes. So go ahead and do that. All of this code you're writing, put them in GitHub, okay? And then share it with your classmates so that people can fork it and develop versions. Hey, I forked Caitlin's version, Rena's version, Paul's version. All of these things you can, fork and then modify and then check in your own version. It'll be much easier for you than starting from scratch. So I really hope that some of you will actually start these repos with your code so that you can start sharing your code base. I want to thank my, previous student for, bringing this up because it is actually very useful for you to know. Right, so you got this line. Someone has to figure out what the hell is going on with this horizontal line, and it's something is wacky there. But did you all find useful and interesting enough information today in class? This next class, thank you. Yeah, and also, yes. Oh, yeah, Ananya, right? We actually missed you. In class, but you're here. You said hi, so I can see that you are here. That's great. All right. So everybody, yeah, thumbs up if you found something useful and interesting in class today. And what we'll do on Thursday is basically take this to the next level. Hopefully we didn't code too much, right? We just stuck with a little bit of code, the same concepts many times. Okay, and that I think will solidify these things. Thursday, look forward to using arrays, and also we'll try and start from here and go and see if we can do the, something like an oscilloscope where you can give it any math function and it'll just do that. Like, like Desmos, right? If you go to Desmos and you give it a math function, it'll just draw a static graph. But we can do an animated Desmos where you give it a function and it's not going to do a static graph like that, but it's just going to animate it like that, one dot moving around the, like a contour. I think that'll be more fun, interesting to look at too. Right, so we'll do that on Thursday. Thank you all so much for sticking around after class, all right, and humoring me along the way. I had a great deal of fun, okay, just by watching this because, until I run this, until it's, I don't know if it's going to work or not. So thank you all so much, Nadal, Paul, and Josh, right? You were the three today, yes? Paul, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Right. And hopefully everybody else will also consider volunteering in future classes. Okay. Because we are running into, everybody's getting a chance now. So you should, yeah, we'll all have a great blast. Thank you all. And I'll see you on Thursday. Okay. Bye.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Bye.
Professor.
Have a great day.
Bye. Good night.
Professor, I have a question.
Oh, yeah, sure. Chloe, what's up?
I have a question about the grade on the Canvas.
Yeah.
Because I got full trapez at the grade board Q site. But
What is your what is your total count of you got full trophies, you're saying?
Yeah, I got full, but you just give me I don't know. For example, I got 24 for quest 4, but you just give me 19. So I wonder why.
Oh, I see. Because it was not popped before the freeze date. On when it is not popped before the freeze date, you get -5. So you get 5 less points if you pop it after the freeze date.
But the quest 4, I mean
according to the data, when the quest froze, you had not popped it. You got some trophies. You got some trophies, but you didn't get popped at that time.
No, the squeeze date for quest 4 is February.
Oh, then you should get full points. Yeah, it's not even frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I didn't update it. Maybe I didn't update that column. I only updated it for, up to 3.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe you already got 19 last week.
No, I got full point, 4 trophies.
No, before you got full, you must have got some less, yeah?
Mm.
You didn't go all the way from 0 to full points, one shot, did you?
No.
Yeah, so you must have got 19 or whatever it is. And then at that time, I might have imported the scores. And
Okay.
so
the grades will be updated, right?
Yeah, when it freezes, it will be updated. It's not frozen yet.
Okay. I
don't worry. Yeah, don't worry. You should take it easy. Don't stress out.
Okay, for the first one, the first quest, I email you because I used the wrong student ID.
Yeah. Okay, don't worry, Chloe. Okay, just send me email. We'll take care of all of these things. I know you're on Quest 4, so it's okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right, okay. All right. Bye. Good night.
Night.